News tonight on this 21st day of September 2023. I'm Luerenge Masika Kazimoto. Before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. Top stories tonight: Museveni to give mining rights to investor Patel in Moroto district. FDC nominates Samuriat as president, denounces the Katonga interim leadership. URA realizes only 15% of VAT due to non-remittance. And Minister Chweru inspects flood-prone areas in Kampala, directs UNRA to expedite repairs. Good evening once again. I'm Luerenge Masika Kazimoto. In our news tonight, President Museveni has commissioned the new Tororo cement vertical rolling milling plant worth $25 million. Speaking during the commissioning of the plant, President Museveni promised to grant other mining rights to investor Patel to build more factories in the designated 10,000 square mile mineral-rich endowed area in Moroto district. President Museveni also warned politicians of wanting to join politics without a medical analysis of Uganda's health and economic requirements. We have more.
President Museveni has finally commissioned the $25 million Tororo cement vertical milling plant. According to the investor Patel, the plant has the capacity of producing 100 bags of cement in 1 hour.
This one here, we don't care who does it, whether he's a Ugandan or non-Ugandan, as long as he, especially for industries and services, if he can put his business here, we welcome him and support him. And that's why we had to go against people like Idi Amin who were just ignorant and had chased these Indians. Why chase the Indians? The Indians were doing better work than many of the indigenous Ugandans.
Speaking at the commissioning, President Museveni appealed to politicians not to join leadership if they don't have a clear medical analysis of Uganda's health and economic problems that led to the collapse of the economy during Idi Amin's regime. Museveni emphasized that transforming Uganda will not warrant who knows what, but the capability to take the initiative. He revealed that the Tororo vertical rolling mill plant is not for the Indian community, but for Uganda, saying that it's going to add to Uganda's GDP.
In some of the areas, people have woken up, like in the cattle corridor there, people are producing a lot of milk, and you can see they have improved their livelihood. In Masaka, they are growing coffee.
He also told the congregation that the second sector that will make Uganda catch up with the rest of the developed world is industry. Museveni later appreciated investor Patel for his contribution to economic development of Uganda, citing a number of products the factory is going to produce.
We just installed a $25 million VRM, which is the most sophisticated mill in East and Central Africa, which has got German technology, and it is producing 150 tons of clinker grinding per hour. By March, with God's grace and God in front with us, we will have installed a 300-ton per hour clinker grinding.
He pledged to give more mining rights to the investor in the rich mineral endowed 10,000 square miles in Moroto district to build more factories. Speaking about the agricultural potential of Bukedi region, President Museveni told the Bukedi people to be calculative in the agricultural sector by embracing the 4-acre model farming system, warning them on investing much in cotton production, which he says requires huge land, which the Bukedi do not possess.
The Bukedi, I'm coming back about the Chibaro in agriculture. These small pieces of family lands, which I see, they are small, but they can be used in a very good way.
Museveni also blamed the Chinese investor who invested in the Usukuru phosphate industry, to have reported to him late when some Ugandans conned him of huge sums of money that led to the stalling of the factory.
Some Ugandan officials took bribes from the Kachina there, that Kachina man.
However, he assured the congregation that efforts to return the Chinese investor have been finalized, and soon the Usukuru phosphate industry will be up and running.
The president of Forum for Democratic Change Party at Najanankumbi, Patrick Oboya Moriet, has said members of the party who assigned themselves duties in Katonga have no bearing with FDC in Najanankumbi. Speaking immediately after his nomination to contest as the party president in the coming delegates conference of the 6th of October, Moriet said the party in this situation has learned that they need to entrust responsibility in hands of serious people who understand the party.
Forum for Democratic Change leadership at Najanankumbi has concluded nominations of candidates in positions like the members of Management Committee to contest in the coming delegates conference to take place on 6th October at Omar Showgrounds. The president, Patrick Oboya Moriet, has come back to contest in the same position against Byamgesha Moses. The Secretary General, Nathan Nandala Mafabi, has also requested members to vote him for another term, while one of the founders of FDC party, Jack Sabiti, has been nominated as the national chairman of the party.
I declare Muriat Oboy Patrick a duly nominated candidate to contest for the FDC position of party president. The candidate to contest for the FDC position of Secretary General for the term 2023 to 2028.
These were welcomed amidst ululations as members congratulated them for being nominated. President FDC Patrick Oboya Moriet said he is looking at stabilizing the party in the next 5 years, hopes to manage the rumblings in Katonga. Assured party members that the party is not going anywhere, no one is going to sell it, urging them to listen to one command center.
We are here, we are in charge. Those leaders who assigned themselves duties are leaders of Katonga, they are leaders of Birigwa, they are leaders of Dr. Kiza Besigye. They have no bearing at all in the leadership in Najanankumbi, and the leadership has remained intact.
Explained that there have been 4 attempts to remove the leadership of Najanankumbi, attributing it to Dr. Kiza Besigye, who wanted Moriet to do things in his way. Yet, he was the president, and this made him fall out with Katonga.
We here in the leadership came under intense pressure to hand over the flag to the NUP candidate, and we rejected that. Attempt to stage a coup was when Dr. Kiza Besigye came here to the 15th National Council. And true to his promise of 3 years before, he came accusing me, the Secretary General, and the leadership here of taking dirty money from Museveni.
Secretary General Nathan Nandala Mafabi has emphasized that the FDC party is known for failures, saying it is unfortunate that some members grade him as someone who has been bought, yet he is on demand because of his brain. Assured the people that he cannot go with the party anywhere, he goes as an individual, even when called to serve in government.
Tell the that the FDC is a party you should trust and believe in it. Are you getting us? We cannot sell FDC to anybody.
Sabiti, one of the founders of the FDC party, says Dr. Kizza Besigye never wanted to leave office of the president, thinking that he is better than everybody and that he is the one who is disorganizing the party. But this they will not allow.
To come back. And we bring him back, we give him the presidency, all the terms he wanted, he used it. Now he wants to disorganize FDC from his own group. That one we cannot accept.
The Katonga faction of FDC elected new leadership, but not going through an election of voting, and this, lawyer Yusuf Nsibambi says, is not a democratic process of changing leadership.
And whatever happened this week at Katonga is reversing the clock. We have a process where we get leaders through a democratic electoral process, not nominations, not declarations or directives.
This election, slated for 6th of October, is going to take place with the exclusion of 20 districts of the Western region, which never participated in lower-level elections, and this, Byamugisha Moses requested, should be looked into. Navka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Najanankumbi.
A section of commercial banks in Uganda has been faulted for delaying disbursement of COVID-19 small business recovery funds. State Minister for Investment and Privatization Evelyn Anite wants banks to honor agreements signed with government to promote development projects. This was during an online tweet chat on the progress of the fund, where board chair Uganda Investment Authority Morrison Rakakamba proposed a shift to investment banking.
It was on 22nd October 2021 when Bank of Uganda received 100 billion Uganda shillings from government for the Small Business Recovery Fund. It was meant to facilitate the provision of loans to small businesses that had suffered financial anguish from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
This is one of the measures that the government has. It's not the only one, because there is also money in the Uganda Development Bank for big investors, but this was targeting the small and medium enterprises.
The scheme was to operate as a public-private partnership between government of Uganda and supervised financial institutions. They included commercial banks, microfinance deposit-taking institutions, and credit institutions. It is the extent of progress of the fund that formed the basis for the chat with Anite online engagement.
If you have signed an agreement with government that you're going to give out money to the citizens, why don't you disperse the money? Why don't you live up to your expectations?
As of June 30th, 2023, Bank of Uganda had received 129 applications worth 14.67 billion shillings from 8 participating financial institutions. Out of them, 1,019 applications were approved with a total value of 12.63 billion Uganda shillings. A total value of 10.49 billion Uganda shillings was disbursed to 899 eligible projects. According to Bank of Uganda, Opportunity Bank ranked highest in disbursement.
So this is 100 billion from government, and is a matching fund. So the institution where you have an account also puts an equivalent amount. So if you want to borrow 1 million, the government will give 500,000, and then the commercial bank or the other institutions will put 500,000. So it is 50-50.
However, some small businesses have found difficulty accessing the fund. It is something they blame on some participating financial institutions. Bank of Uganda is apologetic with the need for some adjustments.
We know the people in charge, so we will take it up. But we are very sorry. You should have written to Bank of Uganda so that we take it up at the beginning. We need to look at the terms of reference. This is right. And I want to thank the minister who is in this meeting. She's always on my case that I should look at this and make sure that money goes to Ugandans.
For me, I'm happy that we are going to do this review, and we take it. That's why we have this space. Let's go back and do the review.
Yeah.
Even the public review, natural justice is here. We will only now want to deal with those who are giving out the money. And I can assure you all the banks will pull up and want to give out this money.
Continuous delay in disbursing these funds could tantamount to sabotaging government programs. Development vanguards want to see this change.
It is a breach of trust with government. Who is your regulator? Who has given you the enabling environment and given you these incentives? So we need to have this discussion, and we will continue naming and shaming and exciting and awarding.
I think we need to start a conversation in government on how do we move from commercial banks to investment banks, such that you have banks that are focused on catalyzing investment, not just looking at the return through interest rate.
In early 2020, the world suffered a COVID-19 pandemic, which did not spare Uganda, paralyzing business. This is why government unveiled the Small Business Recovery Fund with a 10% interest rate for small businesses. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you, Henry Okrut. Intergovernmental cooperation, collaboration and coordination is key in advancing social security in Uganda, says Betty Amongi, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Speaking at an ICT stakeholder workshop organized by the NSSF, Amongi referred to the ICT sector as a cornerstone of Uganda's social and economic transformation.
The National Social Security Fund, in partnership with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, and NITA Uganda, have held a stakeholder workshop with employers, key players and stakeholders in the ICT sector. At the meeting in Kampala, employers in the communication and technology sector were given until the 1st of February 2024 to register their employees and remit their social security contributions.
The 1st of February deadline, which has been indicated here, is for us to give you leverage up to next year. After that, we will start enforcement. And enforcement would be that before you get renewal of your license, or before you get renewal of your license or whatever issue, you first get certificate of clearance from NSSF.
This is in line with the operationalization and consolidation of the social security compliance within the ICT sector following the recent NSSF Act as amended in 2022 that requires all employers register their employees regardless of their number.
Support NSSF. Me, I can just see that in the next 20 years, we don't need World Bank and IMF to finance this and to give us conditions that first live with your fellow man. We can grow our fund, and we borrow this money from the fund, and all this money we are remitting, paying loans and interest to foreigners. Stop. All this money should go to NSSF and secure the lives of Ugandans who are coming towards returning.
At the workshop, the ICT Ministry committed to establish a robust infrastructure to facilitate an array of online services offered by various entities in the public and private sector.
In order for us to connect the dots between the focus that ICT is driving and its initiatives, as well as the savings, we are saying, when all these pillars are put together, we shall be able to create an environment where employment opportunities are created for the people, and therefore they will get income and make savings into the fund, whether formal or informal.
For 60 shillings now, it has taken us 43 years to get to 18.6 shillings. We dare dream that we can get to 15 shillings, another 30 shillings in 12 years. We dare dream because we know we can do it. And we will.
The collaboration between the public entities and the private sector players is seen as an essential step towards advancing social security in Uganda. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Now, schools have been encouraged to embrace the teaching of sign language as one of the elective subjects like Kiswahili, French and Germany, among other languages. The Commissioner for Special Needs and Inclusive Education at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Sarah Bugosi, says this will not only propel inclusivity in the education sector, but in all spheres of the economy.
Over the years, learners with disabilities have performed poorly, with majority of them falling under the category of ungraded. In the 2022 UNEB results for primary leaving examinations, of the over 260 pupils who sat, none of them achieved a first grade, while half of these were ungraded.
Because we look at the examiners, when they're marking these exams, they're going to mark English grammar. Yet, sign language is not written. Sign language is a sign. It's not a written language. Therefore, they're going to fail them on the grounds of poor grammar, yet they have the content in what answers they're given.
After failing to progress to the next level in the formal education system, the majority of these students have no choice but to pursue vocational training.
All we seek is having systems in place to help the deaf young boy, to help the deaf young girl go through the formal education. And let it be his or her choice to say, oh no, I think I'd rather go for carpentry. I'd rather go for tailoring or going for knitting. We shouldn't decide for them that because they are deaf, they should go for whatever you think they want to do. Let the choice be theirs.
Government aims to address these challenges through the mandatory teaching of sign language in lower secondary levels, just like any other subject.
And it's also going to be examined by UNEB. The way we do French, the way we do German, the way we do Uganda is the way sign language has also been taken up. And Ministry of Education, in the same line, they are training teachers of secondary schools to be able to teach sign language.
The Commissioner for Special Needs and Inclusive Education at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Sarah Bugosi, says training for instructors and the development of instructional materials is already ongoing.
New lower secondary curriculum, it should have started at that time. Naye kati amasomero agalimu abaana benyini abatawulira mwe muri sign language as of now kibadde tekinaba kukwatayo kigende masomero gano aga bulijjo kubanga bakyakola ku instructional materials ng'ebitabo eby'abaana bye bagenda okusoma ne ebyabasomesa teachers reference box.
This was during events of the second graduation ceremony at the Vocational Training and Resource Center for the Deaf. Despite their hearing impairment, students entertained their guests with cultural and original art compositions as they were instructed by one of their teachers. A total of 45 students graduated in knitting, carpentry and joinery, and tailoring and fashion design. Despite the heavy rain, the graduates could not hide their excitement for the milestone achieved.
A level 1 certificate of carpentry and joinery. Congratulations.
The institution's executive director, Robert Nkwangu, advised graduates to further their education for better qualifications.
This is a level where you have to add on from what you have. Add on the skills, keep learning. Learning never ends. Don't think that since you're done with the graduation, you're now ready for marriage. You're not ready for marriage.
This call was re-echoed by Agnes Nampera, the Principal Rehabilitation Officer at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
You might be having 3 or 4 degrees, but if you did swaswa, like President calls it, like myself, then you guys are going to be earning better than me at one time. So I urge you to take it higher.
Representing the Board of Directors of the Uganda National Association of the Deaf was Florence Mukasa, who called on parents to guard their children against falling into traps of immorality and homosexuality, among other vices.
Please, parents, I want you to see your children get married officially. Let them, it's your responsibility. Guide them, counsel the girls. It's now time for you to not think that you're free to roam about. Because you think we are not there to watch over you. My request to you is keep disciplined.
During the introduction of the thematic curriculum in 2007, government introduced the use of mother tongue as the medium of instruction in lower primary, although this left out sign language, which is vital for deaf learners. Now, with sign language being taught at lower secondary levels, there is hope that deaf learners will participate equitably alongside other students. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The judiciary has strongly criticized government institutions for disregarding court orders and decisions issued by judicial officers, stating that this undermines the rule of law. Chief Justice Alfonso Winyedolo emphasized the need for the Attorney General to advise government agencies on respecting these legal decisions. Dolo made these remarks during the commemoration of the late Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka at the Judiciary headquarters in Kampala.
It has been 51 years since the passing of Uganda's first Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka, who was abducted from the High Court premises in Kampala during Amin Dada's regime and later murdered. The judiciary began commemorating his life annually, now 6 years ago, for his significant contributions to the administration of justice and the rule of law. The Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka's 6th memorial lecture was held in an event graced by the presidential envoy Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda on behalf of President Museveni. President Museveni expressed his dissatisfaction with Amin's regime, characterized by extrajudicial killings.
This was such a low moment in our country's history. He was an experienced political leader, having served in portfolios as first Chief Minister of Uganda and also leader of the Democratic Party. There had been disagreements between Amin and Benedicto Chiwanuka. It was possible to resolve them without resorting to crude and cowardly methods.
He called on Ugandans to honor Benedicto Chiwanuka's legacy and utilize the peace established by the NRM government for economic transformation.
The NRM's capture of power in 1986 has been followed by other major victories on the social and on the economic fronts. It was therefore necessary to wrestle the guns from the hands of the rogue armies that were terrorizing innocent Ugandans and plundering Uganda's wealth.
Under the theme of enhancing judicial accountability, transparency and the rule of law, Chief Justice Alfonso Winyedolo urged judicial officers to be accountable to themselves and the public in execution of their duties.
We would not be here today commemorating Chief Justice Benedicto Chiwanuka. We in the legal profession would know he lives on when we cite his decisions, when we cite the authorities. So for us, we intend that every judicial officer, and I really mean every judicial officer, must do their work knowing somebody is breathing on their neck from behind.
He, however, expressed disappointment with government entities that disrespect court orders and decisions, which hampers the implementation of the rule of law.
It is incumbent on us, so it is my appeal, we must embrace and pursue the culture of talking to one another. Why do we make it, why don't we speak peace to ensure that people don't have to take up arms to express their discontent? Informally and formally. If Uganda was a country where people would ask or seek to know to understand better what they do not. If during the time of Chief, in this country we have spoken peace to people who have been fighting, but for some strange reason we do not speak peace to people who only shout at us. We do not give audience to ourselves.
The keynote speaker, Emeritus Justice Jotham Tumwesuje of the Supreme Court, called upon Ugandans to strive and end malicious killings by respecting the law.
The Uganda Code of Judicial Conduct emphasizes impartiality as an important principle to be observed by every judicial officer. The code provides that impartiality is the essence of the judicial function and applies not only in the making of the decision, but also the process by which the decision is made. Justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done.
Other speakers at the Benedict Ochiwanuka Memorial Lecture shared their thoughts on the matter.
In order to ensure transparency and accountability in the process, the appointment and selection criteria should be made accessible to the general public, including the qualities required from candidates for higher office. My lords, if we do not have a transparent process, we may continue to appoint acting judges and acting magistrates and end up with an acting judiciary, because sooner or later every judicial officer will be acting.
Let us individually examine ourselves. Do I honor our constitution? Do we honor our constitution and the laws of the land?
A lifetime award was presented to the long-serving principal judge, Jeremiah Ntaboba, who served the judiciary and the people of Uganda diligently and passionately. Rebecca Nantongo, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
In an effort to foster harmonious relationships among communities and promote good health among Ugandans, leaders from the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO have urged Ugandans to embrace the culture of regular physical exercise, highlighting its role in promoting peace. This call was made during the celebrations of the 60th anniversary of the Commission at the National Theatre in Kampala.
As Uganda celebrates the 60th anniversary of UNESCO, the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO set the stage with its 60th anniversary celebrations.
This week, we are marking 60 years of the existence of the National Commission for UNESCO. We have had a series of events since April. But this particular week, we had culture and the week of peace, and we have been dressing in different traditional wear to mark the culture of peace in Uganda.
The event unfolded at the National Theatre in Kampala, commencing with a spirited procession from the Independence Monument leading up to the National Theatre. During the event, Reverend Dr. Duncan Mugumya, the Commissioner of Physical Education and Sports in the Ministry of Education and Sports, called upon fellow Ugandans to embrace the practice of regular exercise, citing it as a powerful tool for cultivating peace.
When you look at all the sustainable development goals, the global goals we intend to achieve, none is not associated with physical education and sports. Because when we talk of physical education and sports, we mean that this is going to help a human being. So human capital development starts with physical education and sports.
In a significant address, Rose Agoyi, the Secretary General of the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO, underscored the pivotal role of nurturing peace among communities as a driving force for sustainable development.
Significantly today, we had a march past in the streets of Kampala involving members of the general public. And the purpose of marching was first of all to announce to the members of the general public that the National Commission for UNESCO is celebrating 60 years. Secondly, to get the members of the general public involved in the activity. And thirdly, we had aerobics and a speech on the Charter of Physical Education.
Nahoho Rashid Matselele, UBC TV.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Hey, can I pay with Momo?
Here's our merchant.
Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
There's also another program, which is the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, WEP, where we have dispersed the funds to the women groups, and of which recovery for the WEP program is around 52%. And of recent, the district was given more funds. The president actually was the one who officiated it during Women's Day on the 8th of March in Chirihura district, where we got an additional 132 million shillings to be given to the youth groups for good performance. But previously we had over 600 million shillings on top of that. And so far, so good. That group is very organized actually for the women.
Uncle, you should see London. Oh, my boy. This has been 5 years. You should see Uganda. Yes. Uncle Marcus, this is my former school. See, soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free. This is impressive. Do you even have connection out here?
Well, we have 100% 4G countrywide.
Okay.
We even have 5G too.
That's approximately 700 billion Uganda shillings in tax, making Airtel one of the largest corporate income taxpayers over the last 5 years, helping build a better Uganda.
today your son, so our new Uganda.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
Welcome back from that break. Now in more news, the Minister for Luerenge Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, has advised leaders from the Busoga region to unite in order to effectively deliver services to the people. She made this statement while overseeing the handover of 9,468 iron sheets from the Prime Minister's office as part of the Luerenge Triangle initiative to 11 districts in Busoga. These iron sheets are intended to be used in roofing schools, staff quarters and churches.
11 districts within the Busoga region have received a supply of iron sheets from the Prime Minister's office as part of the Luerenge Triangle initiative. During the handover of the iron sheets, the State Minister for Luerenge Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, appealed to leaders in Busoga to unite in order to fully benefit from government programs.
But it looks like some district leaders leave out some leaders, which is wrong. But I am going to talk to the RDCs of these districts to prevail over the leadership of the district that is not working with the political leaders.
The Jinja Resident District Commissioner Richard Gurume and the chairperson of the Busoga Parliamentary Caucus, Idi Isabiri, reiterated their total support for government programs.
This will be the beginning, and we are ready to receive, we are ready to give you support. I know getting these things require a lot of efforts, a lot of funding, a lot of working together and commitment in terms of appropriation.
We're going down to the parishes to see how best we can support our people to do the right thing.
However, some leaders expressed concerns about being left out of government programs.
We were not involved. That one is the truth, and for me, I'm always looking for the truth.
The 11 districts that have received iron sheets are Bujiri, Bugweri, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Kaliro, Kamuli, Luka, Mayuge, Namayingo and Namutumba. The total cost of this initiative is 512,530,000 shillings. Ivan Kahwa and Andrew Sebida, UBC News.
The Lions Club International is seeking for a larger membership to boost its voluntary services across the globe, where they are currently at 1.4 million members in 48,000 Lion clubs globally. It is for this reason that Professor Masi Mirembe Ntagare, a member of the Lions Club of Kampala Central, has been asked to use her music talent to help sensitize willing volunteers to participate in the 1.5 members recruitment challenge.
Recruit and mentor to me the thousands of needs around us.
Though it is the world's biggest service organization, the Lions Clubs International may not be able to meet all the needs of persons afflicted by disease, disasters, climate change and famine without big numbers.
400 million people currently worldwide are living with diabetes. And all these need our care. 800 million people are afflicted by hunger. The children, adults, the refugees, many of these people, 800 million.
It is for this that the Lions Clubs International is seeking for a larger membership to boost its voluntary services across the globe.
We have the task to invite, to recruit, and to mentor volunteers to meet the various of needs that are around us in our communities, in the places we work, even on the way as we go home and come away or come to the meetings. It We cannot manage with smaller numbers. We need multitudes of volunteers and numbers.
There are currently 1.4 million members in 48,000 Lion clubs globally. There are close to 2,000 members in about 58 Lions clubs of Uganda, also known as District 411B, involved in voluntary services focusing on hunger prevention, environmental management, childhood cancer, vision and diabetes. Lion Dr. Stanley Bubichire is the governor of the District of the Lions clubs of Uganda.
For such a vulnerable group that you can see practically and get convinced that when you have a big heart, you can change the world.
Because of the increased number of people in need of support, the Lions Clubs International recently asked a member of the Lions Clubs of Uganda, Professor Mirembe Ntagare, to take a lead in its 1.5 member mission challenge aimed at inviting, recruiting and mentoring members into the world's biggest service organization using her music talent.
It's a mission, the 1.5 mission for the thousands of needs around us.
Professor Mirembe disclosed this during a recent business meeting and a fellowship of Lions Club of Kampala Central held at Hotel Africana in Kampala.
So, Lion President, where there is a need,
there is a lion.
So you accept the challenge of the mission 1.5?
Challenge accepted.
Thank you very much.
Mirembe never let down members of the Lions Club of Kampala Central, who involuntarily sang along with her, an indication that they had accepted the 1.5 million members recruitment challenge, a mission by Lions Club International. Mtonyi Hilda, Ndeo Habimana.
ABC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with business and much more stories.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo?
No.
Ha. Hey, can I pay with Momo? Ha.
Here's our merchant
code. Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Ha. Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
The Vice-Chancellor of Gulu University wishes to inform the general public that Gulu University will be hosting the 5th Biennial African Philosophy World Conference from Monday 18th to Wednesday 20th September 2023. The opening ceremony and keynote presentations will take place from Acholi Inn on Monday 18th September 2023. The rest of the presentations will take place on Tuesday 19th and Wednesday 20th September 2023 from Gulu University under the theme Gender Dimensions of African Philosophy from the following international scholars: Professor Taban Loliong from the University of Juba, Professor Anke Granes from the University of Hildesheim, Germany, Professor Silva Tamale from Makerere University, Professor Josephine Ahikide from Makerere University, and Professor Ebunuloa Olufemi Oduwale from Olabisi Onabanjo University, Nigeria. For more information, visit the conference website.
In this family, we can't agree on anything.
Martha.
We can't even agree on what to watch. All the games to play.
Martha.
Ndowoza mulabi, we can't even agree on what to eat. At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long. Anti-economy. I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate alina echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the business scene. The State Minister for Trade, Harriet Ntabazi, has unveiled a promising export market for Ugandan dairy and beef products in Northern Africa. This revelation comes as preparations for the Algeria-Uganda Business Forum, scheduled for early October, are underway.
Uganda is expanding its quest for new markets for dairy and beef products, primarily due to ongoing trade disputes with East African neighbors, particularly Kenya and South Sudan. Earlier this year, President Museveni visited Algeria and reached an agreement with President Abdulmajid Tebboune to trade agricultural products, including dairy items, and enhance cooperation with various agricultural sectors such as animal health. As we approach the Algeria-Uganda Business Forum, State Minister for Trade, Harriet Ntabazi, encourages Ugandan exporters to seize this opportunity.
A lot of bilateral engagements that have been done, and these two countries have shared the volumes of trade from our permanent secretaries of Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the ambassador and the permanent secretary of Ministry of Trade. We have a lot in common that we will use to really trade meaningfully.
Ntabazi emphasizes the importance of quality assurance as it is crucial to strengthening trade relations with Algeria.
Our neighbors were blocking because of the high volumes of production, and then also competitive in terms of production, because what we produce as Uganda sometimes is what Kenya produces. So you find us colliding in terms of trade in milk and all that. Algeria is the answer. We have the answer that the milk that we've been trading and having a lot of issues, the market is immense in Algeria. They want it in volumes, and which volumes we are preparing.
Audrey Krabog, the presidential advisor on export and economic development, also underscores the significance of this potential market.
My request is that we should approach this as not help. Algeria should not help us. We should approach this as partners. What do you bring? What do I bring? Because we're African, we'll never be Icelanders. Algeria is in Africa, Uganda is here. Let's work together to see what our companies can sign one-on-one and get this done.
The Algerian ambassador to Uganda, Cherif Khalid, has pledged to continue support for Uganda's economy through the maintenance of bilateral relations.
Mr. Yoweri Museveni visited Algeria twice in 2015 and in March this year, 2023, and both with his counterpart, President Abdulmajid Tebboune, decided to strengthen the economic and commercial ties, because on the political and diplomatic level we have good relations, very strong, excellent, but for the economic, the trade flows are very weak, and the idea is to have this business council and this exhibition of Algerian products here in Kampala.
According to Bank of Uganda report, Uganda currently earns an average $2 million from exports to Algeria. These exports include coffee, milk, beef, poultry, and various other agricultural products. With the upcoming Algeria-Uganda Business Forum scheduled to take place in Kampala from 30th of September to 2nd of October, the prospects for increased exports are highly promising.
UBC News Tonight. Now, in a remarkable stride towards economic advancement, the 29th Uganda International Trade Fair is poised to unveil a world of innovation, creativity and technological prowess. Now, at the heart of this exposition, Mr. Eddie Senkumba, chairman of the Communication, Marketing and Events Subcommittee, extols the transformative power of technology. Now, join us as we delve into this exciting showcase of digital transformation and innovation, where the future of business and innovation collide.
The 29th Uganda International Trade Fair is set to host over 300,000 attendees and representatives from 30 foreign countries.
Exactly 12 days to the 29th Uganda International Trade Fair. The Women Expo shall start on Tuesday, 3rd October and end on Tuesday, 10th October. In light of the dynamic global trends, it is imperative that Ugandan SMEs recognize the role of digital transformation and innovation and embrace it to enhance both manufacturing and trade efficiency.
The 29th Uganda International Trade Fair is set to host over 300,000 attendees and representatives from 30 foreign countries. The UGITF 2023 will not only showcase products but also celebrate transformation, creativity and the power of innovation, featuring over 1,000 local and international exhibitors. There will be an education pavilion dedicated to empowering students through mentorship, career guidance and guided exhibitions.
Education ensures professionals are up to date with the latest advancement, facilitating the integration of cutting-edge tools and processes into production.
Police spokesperson Fred Enanga assured the public that there are no terror threats to disrupt the event and security measures.
We have a security detail that comprises of dedicated teams from our general duties, khaki. We have the field force unit, the Madoadoa will be here. We have our counterterrorism unit.
He also urged the public to be vigilant with their properties, as criminals may take advantage of the event, and also advised attendees to carry their national IDs as a requirement.
Cell phones and laptops, they are the most sought out gadgets, so we are asking the public, please ensure that you don't leave your mobile phone in the open. Thieves are swift and can grab it.
Some of the manufacturers and sponsors promised the public new innovations, activity and knowledge, as mentioned by Mary Kayo on behalf of Simba Automotives.
Tugenda kuba n'ebintu bingi. First of all, tugenda kugaba piki eziwerako. Ne buno butukutuku bugenda kubeerawo, bujja kubeera buyambako abantu free of charge okutambuza ebintu byabwe okutuuka we binaakola we binaagenda.
We'll also showcase our digital innovations, which include our e-shop and our online product visualizer.
Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Now in Uganda, a new wave of financial responsibility is taking root, the culture of saving. Beyond traditional investments like real estate, many are now turning to unit trust funds as a means of securing their financial future. And breaking new ground on this endeavor, the country has witnessed the launch of its very first, by the way, dollar fund. Now stay with us as we explore this exciting development in the world of finance.
A unit trust is a collective investment scheme that pools contributions from investors who share a common investment objective. The pooled funds are strategically invested in a diversified portfolio of financial securities, including shares, bonds, cash, bank deposits, and more. In Uganda, trust funds have always been collected in local currency. Old Mutual Investment Group has launched the first ever dollar unit fund in the country. A move aimed to diversify and add to the quality of the investment opportunities on the market. The UAP Mutual Investment Group MD Simon Mwebaze noted that in recent years, unit trusts have gained attraction on the local market as low risk, cost-effective access to both fixed income and stock markets investment options.
Fund is an income fund. Basically, investors who are investing in that fund can expect to earn an interest. The fund has been specifically tailored for investors who have predominantly had exposure to dollars and didn't really have an investment avenue where to put those dollars and didn't really want to take on a lot of risk.
Professor Samuel Sejaka, the board chairman, highlighted some of the main reasons that set UAP Old Mutual Investment Group apart from the other sector players, making the investment in the dollar unit fund a viable option.
Portfolio of investments. That's what we have been doing with the Uganda Shilling Unit Trust. And now we're going to do it with the dollar unit trusts. And when we do that, we will give a return of 5%. Now, the uniqueness of the unit trust is that after you have invested, you are earning your interest on a daily basis. So your interest is earned on a cumulative basis. And you can withdraw your money when you want it.
Standing as a pioneer fund in dollar unit investment in Uganda, UAP is offering the local investors the power to achieve more now.
As a businessman in the country, we have been suffering with the inflation of the shilling against the dollar. All the time you want to exchange your money into a dollar, you find the rate has gone down or has gone up. So this is now the opportunity to invest in the dollar and earn interest of 5% per annum, and whereby also your interest will generate an interest.
Uganda, just like the old days, are now embracing the culture of saving not only in assets but equally in trust funds.
All right, with that, let's take a look at what our forex looks like today. Now into the world of sports. A team of 4 boys and 4 girls have been selected to represent Uganda in the 2023 Street Child Cricket World Cup that will take place in Chennai, India. That will take place on the 22nd of September and the 1st of October. The team, powered by Youth Sport Uganda in partnership with Uganda Cricket Association, includes youngsters like Tandia Abdul, Nero Jonathan, Olipa Gerald, Agnes Nakakande, Naomi Amongin, Lorna Anyait and Malisa Ariokot. The Street Child World Cup is an ICC World Cup side event and a Street Child United initiative that brings together street-connected young people across the world to take part in a cricket tournament and advocate for their rights and protection through a child-focused Congress and General Assembly. Team Uganda will advocate for the right to education, as it has been documented that most children in Uganda face challenges in attending mainstream education. The 2023 edition of the event will be the second of its kind, following a successful first edition in 2019, Cambridge. And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Luerenge Masika Kazimoto. I'll leave you with tomorrow's weather forecast with Sharon. Good night.
You join me today in this weather report brought to you by... It's a great pleasure having you join me today in this weather report brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority together with UBC. I'm Sharon Nakajidi. Tonight, it is still raining over most parts of the country, especially in Kampala and in Entebbe and other areas along Lake Victoria. And a satellite taken over Africa today shows that the rain-bearing clouds are widely spread over central Uganda, including our country, Uganda. And we advise you to move with the warm clothing and your umbrella, because tomorrow morning we are forecasting light rains in central, including our capital city, Kampala, Entebbe, Masaka, as well as in Nakasongola. For the western stretch, we are forecasting light rains in Mbarara. For Kasese, Masindi, and Kabale, we shall have sunny intervals. While for the eastern parts of the country, Soroti, Tororo, and Jinja, we shall have light rains. For the northern parts of the country, we are forecasting sunny intervals. During the course of the afternoon, we shall see these rains continue prevailing, temperatures going up to 27 degrees Celsius in Entebbe, Masaka, and in Kampala. Nakasongola, we are forecasting 28 degrees Celsius. For western stretch, we are forecasting 29 degrees Celsius in Kasese. As for Kabale, we are forecasting 23 degrees Celsius. For the eastern parts of the country, temperatures will go up to 29 degrees Celsius in Soroti, Jinja, and Tororo. We are forecasting 28 degrees Celsius. In the northern parts of the country, we shall see a pickup of thunder showers in Kitgum, Lira, and Gulu. Temperatures going up to 28 degrees Celsius in Lira. As for Kitgum, we are forecasting 29 degrees Celsius. For international weather forecast, in London, we are forecasting light rains at 17 degrees Celsius. Sunny intervals are forecasted in Beijing, and in Nairobi, temperatures going up to 26 degrees Celsius in Nairobi. While for Dubai and Cairo, we are forecasting bright and sunny conditions, temperatures going up to 41 degrees Celsius in Dubai. That nicely concludes our weather forecast today. Till tomorrow, have a good night.
UBC, inspired.